What the freak? Hello and welcome back to my channel. We're gonna do I guess a little vlog style today, but anyway, it's your girl Kennedy and we're back. Oh my god, look at the wall though. Have you seen the last video? Okay, but anyway, moving on. So obviously we've all seen Megan Thee Stallion post about her Girls in the Hood like album artwork cover. You guys know what I'm talking about. I'll insert a picture. We all know I don't look like her, but I'm gonna try and recreate her two-piece bandana set. We already know I went to Hobby Lobby and I already picked up some material. Y'all know I don't do pink, so naturally I had to get the lavender bandanas. Okay, I picked up some other stuff too, and we're going to see if I can do it. I've never made a pair of shorts before in my life. I usually stick to like skirts and shorts and dresses or whatever. So I'm stepping out of my comfort zone and we're gonna see if I can actually pull this off. So stay tuned if you want to see me pass or fail. Okay, here we go. And we're off. So for our materials, I got some bandanas. I got like about 8 of these just because I didn't know how much I was going to need. 2 things of ribbon. What are these called? Rectangle rings. And these round O-rings. And these are not from Hobby Lobby. These are actually from the Dollar Tree. They're like little, what are they called? Like little pom-pom bracelets. I thought I could use those as like little fur trim of the hood. And I already had some random purple kind of like starchy material that's going to use as like the lining for it, because you know, bandana, it's kind of thin. So let's get started. So I started off by taping the paper down to my desk so that it's secure, and then I proceeded to trace around with my shorts, tracing the crotch area and along the hip area and the waist and around the leg holes. And then I repeated the same process for the front. I flipped the shorts around and traced the crotch area and the hip area. Contemplation over our situation. Open up. You OPN. Bitch, you won't be BM. We should be closer than friends. If you OPN. Tracing along the leg hole areas with a ruler because it's a slanted line and I want to make sure my edges meet up. So then you cut that out and I have a back piece and I have a front piece. So laying my two-way stretch fabric down on the table, I lay my shorts down so that the way the fabric stretches will stretch the widest part along my bum, and then I just placed the shorts down and traced it, making sure that when I cut out my pattern I did leave a 1/2 inch seam allowance. So tracing all around the shorts, I repeated that same process with the back pattern as well. And you cut it on the fold so that you have 2 pieces of each. And with both pieces still laying on top of each other, we're going to sew the crotch line. So now that the front seams are sewn, we're going to lay them on top of each other, good side kissing, and we're going to line up the bottom crotch line and sew a straight line along the 2 right across here. So the whole process you used for the lining fabric, repeat for the bandana fabric so that you end up with these same shorts that we have for the lining. You lay them on top of each other, good side to good side, and you sew that straight line along the crotch seam. So then you end up with your shorts just like this,
My seams didn't magically end up look perfect, so I don't know. I'm upset about that low key, but whatever, life goes on. So then you lay your lining fabric on top of your printed fabric, good sides kissing, making sure that all the crotch seams match up together and they're laying down perfectly. But before you sew your sides down, we have to make the little loops that are going to hold the ribbons on the edges. This is what I was referring to, the little rectangle rings. We're going to line them up on the bandana fabric and mark them so that we can cut them out. Make sure you account for seam allowance. I cut them out on the fold so that I'll have a total of 6 when I line them all out. We have them all. And then what we're going to do is we're going to fold them over like this, and we're going to sew a straight line going down the open edge. So that way we can flip them inside out and feed them through the rectangle ring. Fold it over and it'll hang out on the side of the shorts, just like this. So here they are, all sewn on the sides. So now we're going to use the trusty dusty safety pin method. And what that is we're going to pin it through one of the sides of the fabric, just like this. And then we're going to close it up and flip the safety pin around and scrunch, 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 scrunch. Feed it all the way through until you come out the other edge and pull. And then you're gonna pull it. You're gonna pull it. You're gonna pull it. Oh my god. Okay, pull it. And with the magic of editing, I pulled that out on the first try. So yeah, moving forward. So you pull it out so all that your nasty raw edges are on the inside, and she's all cute, like so and like that. Like Mama Tabitha says, take it to the iron, press them down so they're all straight. So they'll feed them through. These were a lot skinnier than I was hoping that they would be, but I'm too lazy to redo them, so I'm gonna work with that. So I lost some footage, so I'm trying to describe this as best as I can. But I have these folded edges on the hip for a reason, and that's because I'm going to put these little tabs that we made sandwiched in between those folded edges, so that when I sew a straight line down the hip, those buckles will be sandwiched in because that hip is going to be open for the ribbon. Here you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So when I flipped it around, all those ugly edges are going to be on the inside of the short, even though it's going to be an open hip for the ribbon. Flipping the shorts around and inside out, I laid the shorts flat so that the hardware is lined up. This is going to be the open hip side, so we're not going to sew in the middle where the hardware is at all. On this part, I should have sewed along the bottom edges as well before I flipped them all inside out, but that would have been too complicated. So I just made sure that the lining shorts were matched up with the lining shorts and the pattern shorts were matched up with the pattern shorts, and then we're going to sew along the open hip sides only, not in the middle right here, the open hip side only. So straight down this way and straight down this way. So flipping the shorts around and right side out, here I am, I'm lining the hip seam of the lining shorts with the hip seam of the pattern shorts, making sure that they're all straight, and then I'm pinning them together. So then moving along to the front side, this is the front crotch seam of the lining shorts. I'm pinning them to the front crotch seam of the pattern shorts, making sure that everything is lined up symmetrically, and so that everything lays right and it's correct, anatomically correct on my body. And then this is the back seams, lining those up and pinning them.
Smoking up, make sure the children in the house, she's inappropriate. The way she's approaching us, I disassociate, exfoliate, the renegotiate.
At this point, just making sure that everything looks great so that when I flip it over, we have a short. Look at that. I know me trying to describe it to you guys, it probably sounds like a foreign language, but look at that. It made sense somehow in my brain somewhere. And so it looks great. Wow, I'm super shocked right now, actually. Anyway, moving on to the waistband. Measuring around my waist, and here we are at 30 inches, and I'll show you because the receipts don't lie, sis. So here's some quick maths for you. Dividing that in half, we get 15. Adding 2, we get 17. Ooh. So I measured out 17 inches for my waistband, just for some extra room for trial and error, because I will mess up. And at this moment I realized I messed up because I didn't put no seam allowance. Oh my gosh. And you need seam allowance obviously for seams. So, but still do as I did here and sew along this straight line. Then press them hoes open, aka just like that, like so, like that. And then also press it over like this so that it lays flat and it's easier to sew if it's pressed out first. So this is my second attempt at my waistband, and you'll see why I needed seam allowance. So when I open it up like this, I have these sides folded down, and that'll be easier for attaching the waistband onto the pants because I have to sandwich the lining and the bandana fabric in the middle of the waistband so that all of the raw edges on everything is clean and crisp on the inside. And how I did that was I lined up the seam of the waistband with the side seam that's closed of the hip. So that's on this side right here, because I want that seam to line up. I don't want seams to be on the middle of the band when I'm facing forward and on the back part. I don't want any middle seams. So the middle seam is going to be on the side. And then, like I said, sandwich the bandana fabric in there and sew a straight line all around. And here you have the finished product. Obviously it's open on this side. I didn't sew that all around. I just tucked those edges in at the top and sewed a straight line. Sewed all around the top. It's nice and clean. All of the ugliness is on the inside. My lining fabric edges are still raw because I don't really care about that because it doesn't fray. You can see better here. They're raw and they don't fray. But for the bandana fabric, that does fray, so I'm going to give that a quick little hem. And how I did that was I just rolled it up one time because I don't really care. See, yeah, I'm not folding the lining. Folded it up one time and I just sewed a simple straight stitch all the way down because I was over it at this point.
Open up.
These are my edges all sewn and hemmed up, and the raw ugly edges that I ended up cutting off later anyway. It's not shown here, but I did lace up the sides with a ribbon, and then I sewed the middle crotches together so that the lining won't slide when I'm walking and things like that. I tacked it right here in the middle.
Open up.
The finished product, it came out so cute and I hope you guys liked it. Obviously it's not like an exact replica of her shorts. She had lace up detailing on both sides and they're a lot shorter, but I don't have abs like that, you know. You know. But look, little starburst on the booty, the detail, like I did not plan that, by the way. That's just the way the cookie crumbles, I guess. But part 2 is on the way. Thanks for watching.